As a kid in middle school, I found it really easy to start a conversation with people. The only problem with doing all this conversating is that eventually it would get really awkward.
Kill yourself, Walt.
But, that was normal teenage stuff. And at the end of the day, middle school was kind of awful anyways. It had all the fighting, all the drugs, probably. I just didn't care that much back then, so I wouldn't know. I remember my middle school years being like this awesome, grand thing, but it wasn't. And the reality of it was that if your name was Ethan or Jennifer, then you were probably having a good time. But there's one factor that we'd like to consider as the reason why we think middle school is such a bad thing. And of course I'm talking about presentations. Yep, those things. Remember when you were ready for the first day of middle school and you were all dressed up, getting all ready, but you didn't know exactly what was going to happen because all your middle school said, you get all this liberty. You can do whatever you want. But one thing that they completely forgot to mention was school presentations. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not to say that we didn't have any presentations in elementary. We did have some, but we had those like macaroni type projects where we just put little macaronis everywhere, or we did the little all about me poster boards with little pictures of our friends and us, and I didn't have any, so it didn't matter. Also, a lot of the things about elementary was that we really didn't care. We were the type of people that pick our nose right in front of our crush, and we would instantly fall in love. That's why it really came to a surprise that the day that we went to middle school, we had to do this whole big presentation. And we had to go in debt, put a lot of stuff here and there, and it was madness. It was madness, right? Like the presentation, no. That was not the madness. It's exactly what you put on it. And yeah, I guess the presentation was also mad. We had to spend like days on it, right? And it was just a ton of waste of time, but I'm glad because we wasted our first week of school on that. But of course you had the little normal topics like what's your blood type? What's your social security number? But the most interesting and most important ones that were making the whole entire thing fun were, of course, what's your favorite movie? Like I told them about my favorite movie, Memento. I like Memento. Memento is a good film. I talk about it too much. I used to a lot. And also, Amnesia. I'm just kidding. But I love Borat.
Very nice.
But most of the time, I try to go for the normal slides and, do nothing with it. But sometimes I said, fuck it, I just added whatever pictures that I wanted and all these random things. Of course, I thought that a picture of a B movie was great for my presentation. But my classmates were not saying that. They were like, boo, boo, you stink, man. Boo, that's not the word they were saying verbally. You could tell they were judging. They were just writing down on their little paper like it's freaking America's Got Talent type thing. Like, no, I don't care that much about my presentation. It's just a funny bee from Jerry Seinfeld's creation. I guess that picture is not really funny anymore. But back then, that was comedy gold. That was the thing you laughed at. That was the funniest thing you could think of. And when you pull stunt like this, you were labeled like, oh, you better not get up to Billy. He's the weird kid. He has rabies. That probably happened to me once, but it didn't matter to me that much because I was in athletics and I was able to avoid all that. Some people did not have the same fate. I bless their soul. I hope they're doing all right. They were labeled as weird kids, and they all suffered a fate worse than death. And when they started to present, it was dead as silent. You could hear crickets in the room. Literally, there's crickets in the room. I'm not kidding. The high school and the middle school were both filled with crickets during this season. I don't know what the problem is. What did they do to our school to have little crickets running around everywhere? And that's when you know you did everything wrong. And everyone was doing the straight face. They were just like, they don't give a fuck. I mean, let's be honest though. At least those people cared about their presentations. I mean, you have over here the Nike kid. And you know, after all that, like the straight face and everything, you keep continuing the presentation, and then you just start sweating the whole entire Mississippi River, and then you're just like, what do I do, right? What do you want to do now? And don't get me started with what high school was like. High school was so different because everything got a lot harder, and now you had to put a little, like the bare minimum right in middle school was right here, but it changed. It got harder, right? And it went like right here, which is like significant if you think about it. Bare minimum, just average. It changed, right? It's really funny when people try to use all these photos from Google with the really bad constitution or whatever whatever they did for their presentation, because they have all these like bad Chromebook photos that they uploaded, and they never try to go for the better pictures, so it just looked like absolute dog shit all the time. Which kind of reminds me of the time that I was in my sophomore year and I had to do this presentation on a song in history class. We had to do a little parody of you know, a song that everyone knows. Like, you know, we had those like "We Will Rock You" by Queen, or like "Poker Face." In like most presentations, we presented it just normally, and guess what we picked? We picked Ram Ranch. Ram Ranch. To this day, I'm really glad that people don't know that song. Well, in that class, they didn't know it. Unless they looked it up, then they're gonna be really amused by what they find, especially on how many times Grant McDonald has made, bless his soul, Jesus Christ, bless his soul. I think the thing was about the whole entire presentation was that if you really thought about it and like looked at the lyrics, then you could really tell that it's just Ram Ranch. Like, you know, you got the word penis, cock, or whatever that was in Ram Ranch. I don't know why I did that. No, that's gonna be fun. And we changed it to sword, which is, you know, fine. They would not really know at all, right? It's so much better to find out that the whole entire presentation was about the 300, you know, that fight with the Spartans, and when you think about it in a different way, I'm just gonna leave it right here. It's right here. I mean, nothing really happened from that, and most people now only remember me as that guy who did the crayon video and this stupid shirt.
A lot of colors left. Look at that. I've never seen half of these colors in my life.
Which reminds me of a project my friend did a while back. We had to do this year by year thing about history. Every like important event, pretty much. You know, we had just crazy stuff like World War II and whatnot. And I don't know what was going through my friend's mind when he decided to do this whole entire thing. And I didn't know this existed. Obviously it was gonna exist. It is the internet. But he found a lot of pictures, and not just any pictures. He found in DeviantArt some very they're very explicitly stated, you know, they're very you can't really explain this. You know the word H. It starts with an H. Hen, and you know, most people didn't really find this funny. I mean, I don't know if you would find that funny, but I thought it was really funny. But I just thought his slides were creative. They look like shit. But that was kind of the point, right? It was gonna look bad. There's also this one time that I remember that I was in class, and this is very kind of recent. This one person tried to do a slide presentation, an all about me slide presentation, and they tried to make it very funny, and like they try to put little entertaining stuff that, you know, I would otherwise consider as not funny. But it was creative and it was cool, and I'll commend them for that. That's the good thing. I mean, a lot of people put a lot of dedication into their slides. Like, look at the guy who made the brony presentation. He had so much expression, and like, it's amazing what this guy was able to do. I mean, there's just some people though that you just cannot stand while they're doing their presentation. Like, let's take for instance those one girls, that one group of girls. You know the ones I'm talking about. That group of girls that would always just start giggling as soon as they started. Like, oh, I'm so nervous. They would giggle like every 5 seconds. It was annoying, and everyone just wanted them to finish their presentation and whatnot. Or don't, because I don't want to do mine and I want to present Monday. So the lesson of today is be creative. Don't let other people bring you down. Make your own vision. But please, if it's a school presentation, do not make it funny. For the love of God, please don't make it funny. Save yourself some embarrassment and just, you know, put that ideas everywhere else. And don't put like, oh, no, here's my life. You are now to experience the new life of me. I am Reddit Karma 1000. I love Reddit. You know, like, don't put that expression out there, because then you'll get bullied. I'm giving you some advice. There's some things that you should probably not put in a presentation. And, you know, keep it clean and don't make it stupid. Like, just do whatever you want, I guess. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter. You can do what you want, but I'm just saying, here's this and that. I mean, you can put a little joke here and there and a little meme here and there or whatnot, but don't try to centralize your whole entire thing on memeing. Don't be that memer, because you will be labeled as that, and most people don't want to, you know, hang out with a memer. So whatever. I'm just saying, be you, the viewer. Be you. So this whole entire beginning of the lesson, what I just said, did not matter. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. If you enjoyed this video, then you should consider watching my Ben Folds 5 video, which I put way too much effort in, and I wish that everyone could see it and give it a try. And I would love it if you would share this video with your friends, because it helps out the channel, and especially if you put it on TikTok. I also have a TikTok. If you don't know, I have a TikTok, Ricarsso. If you look it up, it's really easy. This was Ricarsso. Please say the name right, goddammit. And as your favorite creator, I say to you, subscribe for life.
Thank you for being there.
Jalapeno fresco spicy chicken is so deliciously hot, it's generating reactions from everyone, like the memer.
What?
Oh, eat spicy goodness?